Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all another Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be in the OU tier this time. My opponent for this battle is going to be Toys of War, which is a pretty cool name in my opinion. But yeah, Toys of War, like I said, this is going to be a UU battle. I've been doing quite an amount of OU battles, so for once in a lifetime I actually wanted to dip into the UU tier for a bit. Like I said before, I'm still not very good with the lower tiers and whatnot, but I mean, I gotta get into it, at least, you know, not because I was getting tired of OU battles, but just because I kinda wanted to try out the UU tier once again. Like, I kinda just got, like, I was just itching for UU for a sec, so I just decided to do UU, obviously. So I made this team. Looking at the team that I made, it seems alright. I thought it was okay, so I figured let's try it, because it has a pretty good base in my opinion. But yeah, Toys of War. He's gonna lead off with, or I think, yeah, he's gonna lead off with Gliscor, and I believe I lead with Roserade. The reason why is because I was anticipating the Gliscor lead. I'm confident that Gliscor is not speed invested, therefore it's defensive, and I can definitely outspeed it. So right here, what I'm gonna do is go straight for the Sleep Powder. The reason why I did this was because since he led with Gliscor, my impression was that he wanted to get the rocks up. So I definitely did not want him to get the rocks up because, well, I do think my team is pretty good. This team also does not have a Defogger, or a Rapid Spinner for that matter, so if he gets those rocks up, they're here to stay for good, and I have nothing I can do about it basically, unless his Pokemon has Defog, which it does, and it's this Empoleon that has it. But again, how likely is he going to want to get rid of his rocks, honestly? I don't think my team has, actually my team does have rocks, but it's only a matter of getting them up as soon as possible, obviously. But anyways, he switches into Empoleon here. I went for Giga Drain. It did nothing. Well, it did an amount, but not as much as I thought it would do, just because I was thinking that Empoleon doesn't have the best of special defense, but it must be invested in special defense, seeing how it took that well, the Giga Drain that is. So here, after going for Giga Drain, he actually, or hard switching into Rotom, he actually gets his rocks up with Empoleon. So turns out that either the Gliscor did not have Stealth Rocks, or it probably had it, but he had two Stealth Rockers on his team. Or maybe his Empoleon just was the only one with the Stealth Rocks, honestly. So that kind of threw me off, honestly. I was hoping that after getting the sleep on Gliscor, there would be no rocks on the field. But this Empoleon got the rocks up instead, unfortunately. Which sucks. So now as a result, I have to Volt Switch into Roserade again. And here I try to go for another Giga Drain just to get some more HP back, given the fact that now I take rocks from the switch-in. And I took a Scald as well, which really blows, honestly. So what I'm going to do here is go for Giga Drain, as you can see. And he switches into Amoonguss, which it takes literally nothing about from the Giga Drain. So I was like, okay, let's stay in and go for Hidden Power Fire just to be offensive, see how much this does. And it does quite an amount, so I was like, you know what, let's stay. And this is actually good for me because he actually does switch into, or should I say, he over predicts and goes for the Spore, and I was like, good. So now I'm gonna hard switch here because now I think he's gonna want to stay in, and not stay in, either stay in and go for Sludge Bombs or just switch out. I was expecting him to want to switch out just because seeing how much Hidden Power Fire did, but he actually stays in, so I was like, ugh, good thing he didn't go for Sludge Bomb on my Togekiss switching. So here, I'm going to go for the Air Slash just to see how much I can do to this thing. It does quite an amount, but not enough to kill it, unfortunately. The good news is that I do get to flinch this Amoonguss, which is pretty good for me because I don't take a Sludge Bomb as a result. Here he's going to switch out, unfortunately, into Empoleon. This is why it's bad that this Amoonguss survived, because now he gets to freely switch into Empoleon, which I do not have Aura Sphere for this thing with Togekiss, so unfortunately I am going to be forced to switch out. But I first decided to go for the Roost, just to keep this Togekiss as healthy as possible, and if he goes for Ice Beam, I'm not going to take too much from it because it's not stab on Empoleon, and it's a defensive one, so there's no offense investment on Empoleon. So, but here he's gonna go for Scald, as you can see, and he gets the burn, which really sucks because this pretty much puts me back at where I was before I went for the Roost the first time. So now as a result, I have to freaking switch out the way I am, with not at full HP basically. So I'm gonna go into Magneton now, and what I'm gonna do here is go for the, I think here, well, I go into Magneton and he goes for Roar, I meant to say, and he phases me into Sharpedo, which I honestly didn't know how I felt about this, honestly, at the time, because I was thinking I could go for Crunch here and he can try to Roar me again, predicting me to switch out again. So I just decided to stay in and just go for Crunch. And unfortunately, he does go for Scald, and because it's in red HP now, the Torrent boost kicked in, and therefore that Scald is gonna do quite an amount of damage, honestly, which really sucks, honestly. This kind of influences my decision on Sharpedo, my use of Sharpedo here in this battle, as you're gonna see right now. But what I'm gonna do here is, because he did not get the burn, thankfully, I stay in and go for another crunch. I honestly thought he would switch out, and this is actually good for me because he really kind of doesn't really have a switch in for Sharpedo right now. Especially because I think the Sharpedo that I have is actually an adamant Sharpedo, not a Jolly one like I usually carry. So, yeah, he's going to go into Rabombi. Now here, I kind of make a greedy play here. Because this Rabombi, at least from previous experiences with Rabombi, I was really afraid of this thing getting the sticky webs up, which would have nullified my Sharpedo's potential as a sweeper. So I wanted to just stay in and go for Ice Fang, predicting him to go for the sticky webs, which he does not, and as a result I go Sharpedo, which sucks. I was hoping for the flinch and freeze as well, which is once again very greedy, because what makes you think you can get a 10% chance to flinch or freeze? That's very, I wouldn't say it's a bad play, but it definitely was debatable. So yeah, here I'm gonna go into Magnitude now just to get rid of this thing. I wanted to go for Flash Cannon, but I was afraid of him bringing in Kommo-o, which if it has bulletproof, I mean, I don't remember if Flash Cannon gets affected by bulletproof. I remember here, I don't remember, like, I thought, I was under the impression that Flash Cannon would be affected by bulletproof, so I just went for Volt Switch. The bad news about this, though, is that now I get to take out the Rabombi, sure, but now I get to free switch into whatever he wants, because I'm going to have to show what I send out, and I send out Togekiss. I go for the Roost here, which made me hope that I can maybe take a hit of whatever he's going to try to go for. I wanted to see what he wanted to do as well. Maybe he tried to go for Shadow Sneak here, but he doesn't. He actually goes for Shadow Claw and gets a crit, which is, it's kind of bad, and you're going to find out right here how that's the case. My Key Berry goes up. Here I thought I was going to lose Togekiss, and because I thought this thing would have Shadow Sneak, which doesn't seem to be the case, because I have seen Mega Bandits with Shadow Sneak, so I figured maybe, just maybe he'd carry Shadow Sneak, but he doesn't. He just goes for another Shadow Claw. It puts me kind of where I was already in the first place. So I was like, okay, now do I lose Togekiss to a Shadow Sneak? Nope, he stays in and does not flinch. He tries to go for Gunk Shot, which I didn't even know that he can get Gunk Shot, honestly. But yeah, here I just go for another Air Slash. I thought he was gonna now maybe go for Destiny Bond, but he does not go for it, so that's actually kind of like, wow. Like all this time I was just pressured into going for nothing but Air Slash. I wanted to go for Roost here because, as you can see, the burn is really withering me down, but literally with Bandit having Gunk Shot and this Among Us coming in ready to go for Sludge Bomb, there was no way I could just stay and just Roost, honestly. And he saw this coming when he sent in Among Us, and he saw that I wanted to go for Air Slash just to take out that Among Us. But yeah, I didn't go for Roost, and now as a result he switched in the Gliscor, which takes the Air Slash. Okay, that's quite an amount of damage nonetheless, but I lose Togekiss as a result, and this is actually really bad because I kind of need a Togekiss for the Kommo-o. So here I kind of misplay once again. I go for Earthquake, predicting the Among Us to come back, and I go after switching in Swampert, that is, and I try to go for Scald here, just because, I mean, I wanted to I don't know, I just thought that the switch into Among Us was more predictable, but I guess not. I went for Scald here, or I went for the rocks right here, because I wanted to get these up in the first place, especially since he got his rocks up. And then here, I think after this, I try to go for Scald again, but he's going to go for the U-turn, and I think here is where he decides to go into, not Among Us, but I forgot what he goes into, but it's not Among Us, I believe. I don't remember what he goes into. Oh, he goes into Kommo-o. Okay, so this Kommo-o, let me tell you something. From previous experiences, this Kommo-o once again continues to throw me off, which is really ridiculous. Okay, so look what's going to happen here. I go for Scald. I was hoping for the burn. I honestly also thought that the Gliscor might want to stay in as well, because seeing how he stayed in and went for Earthquake the first time, I was like, you know what, let's go for Scald now. He switches out, goes into Kommo-o, don't get the burn. I switch into Magneton thinking, okay, he's probably going to just go for Clanging Scales or something. And as you can see, he actually now carries Substitute. This is actually very telling, because from previous experiences during the pre-banked meta in Sun and Moon, I've never seen Kommo-os with substitute. I was always afraid of them, but I never actually, I actually never saw one into play. And this is the first time I actually see a substitute Kommo-o for the first time, or that's what I said, first time. But yeah, and here I went for Volt Switch because I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to break the substitute after a Volt Switch, because I'm assuming that this is an offensive Kommo-o, but it wasn't able to, and as a result, and like I said, I couldn't go for Flash Cannon because, again, I wasn't sure if Bulletproof can actually block Flash Cannon. I assume it can. But, yeah. Now, here's where the big misplay came in. I went for Roar. Like, all this time, he was just setting up in my face, and I was thinking, okay, I can just Roar him out, right? And as you can see, this Kommo-o actually had Bulletproof. I was like, what the hell? Are you freaking serious? I was afraid of sending in Rose Raid against this thing because of the fact that I was afraid of Kommo-o having Bulletproof all this time, and it turned out to actually have Soundproof, which I completely forgot it can have as an ability, in all honesty, which really sucks, because this guy managed to set up. He had a freaking Salic Berry, which boosts his speed. Here I sent in Magneton because I thought that this thing had lower speed than Magneton, but turns out no, not really. What I was gonna try to do was break the substitute with freaking Volt Switch and then send in this thing to die, but I mean, I just lost Magneton, and now he's just gonna Drain Punch the rest of my team to death, honestly. Like, this was one hell of a misplay, and I can't believe I was afraid of this thing setting up on me, honestly. It's because like, I mean, like, I was afraid of him setting up in two different ways, whether he'd go for Dragon Dance or he'd go for freaking the Commonium Zine, which, by the way, unbeknownst to me, it was actually banned in UU, so the more you know. Here I just sent in Rose Raid just to die, because as you can see, this guy literally just destroyed me like this. So the last battle, I just get my first W, and then the next battle, I just get the first beating of my life, which is really funny. It's because I really didn't expect this Kommo to give me the work once again, because the first time he gave me the work, at least on this channel, was the damn Kommo that was used by Joey Fontaine. So seeing this Kommo once again put me in a very twisted position where I actually kind of played badly around it, just because I didn't know what set it was, or because I assumed a set. Like, I was not expecting substitute on this thing, and as a result, I didn't expect it to set up even with Belly Drum. Like, I didn't even know Kommo could get Belly Drum, honestly. I know he could get Bulk Up and Dragon Dance, but what's it called, Belly Drum too? I was like, wow. Rabombi, like, oh my goodness. So many mons in this guy's team throw me off big time just due to past experiences. Soulfire with dang Rabombi made me think that this guy's Rabombi was going to carry Sticky Webs. That made me kind of like sack Sharpedo in a way. And then Joey Fontaine with the dang Kommo. I thought it was going to be Commonium Z in this case. It wasn't, because it's banned in UU. And then I didn't even know that this thing can get, what's it called? Belly Drum. And like, man. This battle, I didn't want to showcase it, but I mean, I kind of didn't have a better battle to post, honestly, so I just figured, well, why not just showcase? Not to mention, there was also a few negative experiences that I had that kind of made me just feel like, you know what, maybe I just deserve to show this anyway. So yeah, that's going to be the whole game, as you can see, and nonetheless, good game to Toys of War. I like your name, by the way, it's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you all for watching nonetheless. Sorry if I sound a little bit low right now. It's because I have a lot of people in the freaking house, and they're all making a bunch of noises, and not to mention, I kind of don't like talking very loudly when people are in the house, because that just makes me feel like a weirdo. I just feel like I'm talking to myself, which is the case perhaps, because I'm just speaking behind a mic and whatnot. But I mean, I feel more comfortable when there's no one in the house, which is rarely the case. So yeah, I apologize for sounding very low, but either way, I'll catch you guys in the next battle. But for now, just take it easy.